So I'm here to assure you that the world is not coming to an end. The world has suffered through and been challenged in many other environments. But that being said, we are in an incredibly difficult time where growth is challenged, where government efficacy is questionable in some places, where we are facing challenges from companies and organizations that are living in ideological settings or in countries that have very different views and values from our own. And yet we are all on the same planet. And as we deal with these issues, it's really important for us to take a sensible approach, one that is innovative, one that is sustainable, and one that is flexible so that we can incorporate the views and values of everybody from around the world. I just want to explain very clearly that even before COVID hit in 2020, there were already great concerns about economic growth and the ability for government to deliver on many social programs. In particular, as policymakers and economists like myself, we were already worried and talking about low growth. Economic growth, I know, is a whole other subject that we probably have to have a debate on the efficacy of growth and where and how it can be better. But fundamentally, the ability to transform people's lives and living standards, which is essentially driven by economic growth, was already stalling. Even before COVID hit, we were struggling with public policy impotence, both in terms of monetary policy, such as interest rates, as well as fiscal policy, which is public spending, taxes, and the amount of debt that government was carrying. There were other issues, inequality. I spoke in Davos at the World Economic Forum a number of years ago. That year, Oxfam had put out a report showing that the 8 wealthiest men, and they were all men, had more wealth than the bottom 50% of the world's population. At that time, it was about 3.5 billion people. Obviously, coming into COVID, we've revealed even greater inequalities in education, access to healthcare, access to opportunity. So we were really already worried about this before COVID hit. Society writ large has become much more short-term. I can tell you what we are doing in the corporate boardrooms to try and effect and make changes around short-termism. We're making specific changes, for example, around compensation. We now do not just pay people based on a salary or bonus at the end of the year. We are actually compensating people thinking much longer term. And I talked in my book, Edge of Chaos in 2018, about how much some of that thinking I think would be very, very valuable in the public sector.